one, go. All right, we're live.
Did you want to make your introduction?
Hello? Yep. Hello, I am the Night Watchman, and this is Night Watch Live, episode 13. And this is Filthy Heretic,
Oh, hi.
and this is my new friend, Segura. He'll be joining us this evening.
Pleasure to meet you all.
And on today's stream, we're going to be discussing something that was kind of expected. We're going to be talking about the very scandalous Bill Cosby acquittal, and it's something that got us a whole lot angrier, very, very angry, very pissed off about it.
It's got some people pissed off. Me, it's kind of just like, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, well, some of us were kind of expecting it, but
For me, it doesn't come across as a surprise to me, frankly. Really, realistically speaking, the state has its own interests involved with Bill Cosby. Than the fact that when you have money, would you look at that? Justice suddenly seems different for you.
And that's kind of I think I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually the plan from the beginning. I mean, Bill Cosby doesn't become as prominent and popular as he was without being able to pull a few strings whenever he actually got into trouble. And in this case, those strings manifested as what's known as overcharging in prosecution. What that means, for those of you who are watching who don't know what it means, is that prosecutors will, let's just say, like, you lose control of your vehicle and you accidentally run over and kill somebody. Complete and total accident. Everybody knows it wasn't your fault, but the state is still going to charge you with manslaughter. As vicious and horrible as the term manslaughter sounds, it's actually a relatively lesser charge. But then this prosecutor comes at you with a first-degree murder charge. That's going to be an example of overcharging. Typically, this will be done when someone gets hit with a traffic violation or even just quote-unquote resisting arrest. They'll overcharge that up to attempted murder of, I don't know, some cockroach or something else in an attempt to intimidate them into accepting a plea deal, even if they weren't resisting arrest. Keep in mind, of course, resisting arrest just means that we decided to arrest you for no reason. We just wanted to make up a charge that you could reasonably be made guilty for. So as a result, you have to pay the fine, go to jail either way, especially since, like, even if you do fight in court, well, you're still going to be subject to ungodly amounts of legal fees, to say nothing of the fact that, like, it's basically a cliche at this point that public defenders are completely and totally useless. In addition to, like, the very obvious conflict of interest of the prosecution, the defense, and the judge all being state agents. And the very case itself is always described as the state versus you. So, yeah, kind of showcases the problem. However, if you're already connected with the state in a very favorable way, the overcharging can actually work in your favor, where what will happen is that a jury will acquit you of the charges that you're clearly not guilty of. So, for example, you could be guilty. You could actually commit first-degree murder and be charged with treason. Well, clearly you didn't betray your country, so therefore you're not guilty, and that's how you get away with murder.
Yeah, it is a very tragic attribute of our criminal justice system, is that there's just so many loopholes that can be exploited, and just like you explained, it's just you versus the state, and the state has your own interests, and if you have no connections with the state, then you're just basically screwed. But
I would hesitate to call them loopholes if they're used so often by state agents or people or agents associated with the state. I mean,
you assume that they're not there intentionally.
Me?
No, Night Watchman.
Well, you're saying those loopholes were there intentionally?
Of course. I mean, the
Almost
whole point of having a criminal code in a state is specifically so that you aren't subject to them. So those loopholes are going to be there by design, and that's how you're able to that's how people who are connected with the state, like Bill Cosby, are able to get away with it. Now, I don't believe that what happened with Bill Cosby was literally an example of overcharging, but it is a pretty good example of how these legal quote unquote loopholes manifest.
Yeah. And also, just an observation when it comes to Bill Cosby specifically, how could I say this? Even if he didn't get out of prison, chances are he would have been able to buy his way into luxury in prison, just doing part of the fact that the fucker has so much money, you know. That and the fact that you got to remember the dude's like in his 80s, so realistically speaking, what good? Let's just for the sake of argument, let's just say this: even if the justice system was good or pure in this case, it still wouldn't do anything or do jack shit towards all of his victims, you know? The same line of logic could be used for things such as like against the death penalty. All right, cool. We subject a fucker to death. Guess what? That's not going to bring the person that he killed back to life, you know? And also consider the fact that when it comes to Bill Cosby, he didn't get out based off of like, he got out because there was new evidence that proved his innocence. No, the fucker was still guilty of sin. It's just that what happened is that in the first prosecutor said to him, like, look, whatever you say here, you won't be used against you, you know? Which when a prosecutor says that is actually a contract. It's almost like a contract between that and that individual and the prosecutor, you know? As such, Bill Cosby confessed to his crimes, admitting to drugging women and people. And then the second prosecution team showed up, and they used that information from the first prosecution team to convict him. And I just think this, like, yeah, you're going to tell me that wasn't done on purpose? You don't think that the state accidentally, quote unquote, did that? No, they did it on fucking purpose.
There is a reasonable. Sorry, continue.
And essentially, in this case, legally speaking, Bill Cosby's Fifth Amendment rights were violated, and the second prosecution team, using the confession that he had with the first prosecution team, basically the confessions that he confessed with the prosecution team with the first group, that being used for the second group, was a violation of his Fifth Amendment rights in that he incriminated himself involuntarily. Which, realistically speaking, the Constitution is nothing more than just a piece of paper, because the state will always find ways to fucking get you to convict yourself. Even if you don't do it directly, they'll find ways to indirectly convict you. As you were going to say, Phil?
I was just going to say, like, there is a reasonable case to be made that this was accidentally just a result of incompetence on the part of somebody. Problem is, it's going to be a little difficult to prove, and the worst that's possibly going to happen as a result of this is that some prosecutor is probably going to get a reprimand of some kind. Possibly lose a career, but that's probably the worst. That's probably the worst they can expect.
Knowing the state, filth, I don't have much faith that that'll happen.
You know, and I know the state and how it works, Filthy. They always protect their own.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Nightshade.
Oh, hey, Domari.
Hi. I honestly know nothing about this topic, so what's been going on with Bill Cosby?
Yeah,
Bill Cosby just recently was released from prison after a quote-unquote, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, a quote-unquote false conviction. Even though we know that the fucker is still guilty of sin, he got out based off of a technicality.
I mean, I know nothing about the person, so...
About Bill Cosby?
Yeah, like, I know 0% of this.
Okay, do you know, do you remember the the chocolate-flavored individual named America's Dad. Not American Dad, America's Dad in the 80s.
No, I mean, I think
You
the
don't know
Cosby
Phil
Show
Albert.
exists.
You don't know.
What I do remember is that, like, oh gosh, I remember that, like when I was like really young, there was a show called Little Bill, and I think I used to watch it like a few times before. I don't know. It's been like over a decade.
Oh yeah, I remember
like,
Little
for a
Bill. Like
long time ago.
back when Bill Cosby was actually a role model instead of just a sleazy old
Really, that was
bag of shit.
like when was that show made? Like the 2000s. I mean, I saw it in like the 2000s.
Oh my god.
That was when he was good.
Yeah, when he was that actual role model for people.
So, like, when did he live long enough to become the villain? Let's just
and
say.
then he just lived long enough to become the villain.
Oh no, he was always a villain. It's just that he did a good job in hiding it.
Actually, no. My family actually knows a person. Not me personally, but like my parents. They know a woman who claims and has claimed for several years, even before the story came out, that she was raped by Bill Cosby. This was like in the 90s, by the way.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I mean, like, how many people did Bill Cosby rape?
It's hard to say because this person never came forward publicly, but so we can assume that it's probably at least several dozen.
Yeah, and the problem is that in some of the cases, some of them were proven to be false, which just muddies the waters, you know.
If it was like 100, that would be quite something. How do you do 100?
I think it was like 50, believe it or not. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm again, but no, it's just again, this really doesn't surprise me. It really sickens me. It disgusts me. And you know, a part of me wonders, like a part of me legitimately wonders if the state did this on purpose at this time, right before the 4th of July. You know, it makes me wonder if they're going to be trying to hide something or do something behind closed doors, and then just do it
kind of sus.
Like just do what the usual Mockingbird media does, and technically report it, but just have it at the very last end or mix it in somewhere in the middle. That way they can't. You're going to say, Phil?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they've already reported it. It's just kind of like it's relatively small news compared to all the other stuff that's happening and all the other stuff that I think is actually more important.
Yeah, I know. Bitcoin.
I mean, now I just saw an article now about how the U.S. has made a contract with Lockheed Martin about a $4.6 billion contract to send missile detection satellites into orbit.
You know,
which is very much reads to me that the U.S. is definitely doing prep work for a future war of some kind. I've been predicting for a long time that the U.S., in order to maintain the political economy, is going to try to provoke a war with China and or Russia.
Why else do you think, Filthy? They made the Space Force a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and that's what I think is going to be going on.
Wait,
because
does the Space Force actually exist right now?
Yes, it exists. The idea of the Space Force, like the idea of the Space Force, and the idea of how the U.S. military works is this: if you control the air, you control the ground, and as such, the same line of logic would apply here in space. If you control outer space, you control the Earth. And
I'm pretty sure you've all heard the. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm pretty sure you've all heard the adage that the greatest power in the world is the high ground.
Yeah.
As proven, as demonstrated by the great military strategist Obi-Wan Kenobi, the high ground is the greatest power there is in the universe. And in any planetary conflict, orbit is the highest ground there is.
Lovely.
So being able to control the high ground is going to be particularly Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering because I thought my audio cut out for a second there.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we couldn't trust the state to keep their grimy hands out of space, you know. But
they've been doing this for decades. Like even though even like during the Cold War, they like America, like the U.S. and the USSR signed a treaty saying like, or with the United Nations and what have you, saying like we won't do things in space. What's the first thing that they do? Send fucking satellites into outer space, and they have a space race. I wonder why.
I mean, I'm not really surprised that they will eventually, be into space because there's a frick ton of territory out there. Of course, it'd be with space.
Oh, dude, you're talking about the country that legit had plans to launch a nuke on the moon. That's actually the thing.
Try to nuke the moon?
Yes.
Okay, Robotnik.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that sounds like something Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman would do, but you said there was an actual plan to blow up the moon. Holy shit.
Listen, at this point, I'm reasonably sure the whole point of Saturday morning cartoon villains and just like comic book villains in general was specifically to make what the government actually does seem so ridiculous that when it ever gets out, nobody would ever believe them. For example, that time that the United States government experimented on mind control fungus on kittens and then incinerated them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they freaking it was a program in the 80s and early 90s, I believe, where the government bred kittens, deliberately infected them with the mind control fungus, bred specifically to try to make them behave in certain ways. And then once the kittens were done with, usually because the fungus would just straight up destroy their brains, they would just incinerate them. Again, comic book levels of villainy. There was also that program in the early 2000s where I believe President George Bush stole 40 cakes. That's as many as 4 10s, and that's terrible.
You know what's the funny thing is I remember I remember seeing that in a comic with Lex Luthor, and I thought that was a joke, but no, that there's some truth to that.
It's that remark I made, by the way, about George Bush stealing 40 cakes was a joke. The reference originally comes from, I believe, Lex Luthor from some book, from some educational kids book featuring DC characters. I believe in the 70s or 60s, where Lex Luthor stole 40 cakes. And people found that so hilarious that it actually kind of became it actually became a meme in its own right. And DC Comics has made references to it periodically. Just because, well, it's hilarious.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, God, this is going to sound cringe as shit. Are any of you gentlemen familiar with the Resident Evil series?
Yes.
I'm familiar with
Resident Evil 7.
Okay, there's a line in Resident Evil 5 towards the end of the game where Chris Redfield says to Wesker, the villain, or at least the main antagonist of the Resident Evil series from Resident Evil 1 to 5, he says this, like, do you get your ideas from comic book villains? At first, I thought, legit, I thought that was a throwaway line, but now as I've gotten older, I realize, like, oh my god, the state is unironically, like, a fucking comic book villain in the sense that, their ideas are so over the top in terms of like stupidity and evil is that one has to ask themselves, like, not so much the why would they do that, but where do they get the motivation to do that?
Power.
I mean, yeah, power, but come on,
power corrupts.
Power
and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and with absolute power comes absolute stupidity. That's my quote for tonight.
Lovely.
Hey, Night Watchman.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, when was the last time I was even in a live stream?
Probably not since last October, I think.
Really? Wow. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
It's been a long time. Don't worry.
Is it okay if we talk about other things,
Yeah,
which I think
sure.
we already
I
have.
just want to ask you, where have you been this whole time?
I don't know.
Just playing some Call of Duty Zombies and Minecraft?
Maybe. Definitely Minecraft. All right, this is my room. Oh yeah, you see that?
Can we see it on stream?
Oh, sure. I can get a little window.
No. I'm asking because I don't know if you want to show that on stream. Congratulations, you might have doxed yourself.
I'll dox
I
myself.
don't want to dox myself.
Be careful. I mean, Night Watchman, you'll probably be fine, probably. But
I doubt I have any personal information in my room sharing. So I think.
well, I mean, what counts as personal information?
Home
Yeah, like,
address.
you'd be surprised what is considered PII, personal identifiable information. Simply knowing, like, no joke, simply knowing that the fact that you have an Xbox One, fucking, you son of a bitch, you got an Xbox Series X.
Yep.
I mean, keep in mind, 4chan at one point was able to find the 5th iteration of the "He Will Not Divide Us" flag.
Just by looking at the fucking stars.
Not by looking at the stars. Just by what happened is that there was a flag that was inside of a room, indoors, and with no sight of windows at all. So it's basically just the flag on a wall. And 4chan was still able to find it just by how the sunlight shone through the window.
Oh my God.
So what counts as identifying information is entirely dependent on how autistic the people that are coming after you are, which is honestly something you're going to want to be careful about.
Yeah, and I can just tell by you having an Xbox Series X, you fucking bastard. I'll be able to easily track you down just based off that information, and you having a poster and other things such as that nice, lovely cup and that. God damn, dude, you are
that's just thank you.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's just thank you. Thank you for more information.
Why don't you just go ahead and give us your name and address while you're at it?
Wow.
Also, your social security number, as well as the security code on the back of your credit card.
To get
don't worry, if you don't let me ask, what's your Xbox Live gamer tag?
Should I be revealing that? I mean, I would like to have some friends on the.
What do you think, my guy? What do you think I'm trying to get at here?
He wants to play Call of Duty with you.
Or is it? Or do you want to know something else?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Don't reveal shit.
Oh, and by the way, can you give us the credit card information of your parents too?
No.
Do it. No balls. No balls. Give us your credit card or you have no balls.
Bro. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, there's a Series X. Okay, so I can't do a flashlight. So it's gonna look pretty dark. But that's a 4K
reflection. Thank you.
Oh, I've shown my face up before on my YouTube channel. This is my PS4. This is my Xbox 360.
Oh, respect. I still have my 360.
See it, though. Yeah. Posters for all the Minecraft Zombies games. I'll tell you what that is in just a little bit. And look at all this shelf full of boxes.
Okay.
There's the Series X box right there. Series X box. And a bunch of VHS tapes. Now, Night Watchman, you remember the Sus Rising?
Oh yeah, I remember the Sus Rising. Oh.
Well, I have the Sus Rising on VHS. On VHS.
VHS?
Yeah. Also, that I made a sequel called The Sus Rising 2: Sus Among Us. Also, look at that.
Lovely.
It's a CRT2. Yeah.
Anyways,
VHS.
Congratulations! You just gave the NSA enough information to be able to identify you by name, and I'm sure that there's a SEAL team coming to your house in the next couple hours.
They just are able to find your. They'll be able to find your body type based on the reflection of your fucking TVs. Anyways, speaking of certain subjects to speak about, how do you gentlemen feel about tomorrow?
Well, I kind of said
Yeah,
tomorrow is that I like the fireworks, but I have nothing to really be patriotic about because the United States is the most evil country on earth, and I'm willing to acknowledge that.
I mean, is it more evil than Israel?
Oh no!
I mean, do you want
Israel
my
is a whole
opinion
lot worse.
I mean, I don't think it to be. There is no wrong answer to that, by the way, because you can't really. It's really disingenuous to try to compare them and say that one country is worse than another, especially since it's ultimately going to come down to a personal preference. So, in a sense, whichever answer you gave, you wouldn't be wrong. So, for me personally, 4th of July means nothing to me. It's basically just Sunday.
For me, gentlemen, I can't go into too much detail here, but it's going to bring me back to some bad memories, and I just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
Do these memories make you cringe?
I'm neither confirming nor denying that. But no, needless to say, I just find it to be fucking disgusting. And consider the fact that you're gonna hear fucking conservatards tomorrow saying like, "Oh, we're land of the free, home of the brave." Like, motherfucker, if anything, COVID has shown.
Grambo needs an invite link. Oh wait, hang on, I'll bring him on over.
Yeah, the idea that this is a free country is, I mean, the very fact that you're saying free and country in the same sentence should be clue enough.
I know.
And the fact that you're probably conditioned to say that by government school teachers and parents who themselves were conditioned by government school teachers. The fact that you probably can't go to many places without being forced upon on a mask. You're probably being coerced into getting a vaccination. You're not free. The government controls every aspect of your life. Or at least leverages every aspect of your life.
Yep, for me, I know this firsthand. It really is disgusting. And to me, what these same conservators would say, like, "Oh, why don't you just leave to a different country? Why don't you just move?" Well, okay, so let's just break this down bit by fucking bit. By that same line of reasoning, you would be saying to a fucking domestic victim of a victim of domestic violence or what have you, that she should just leave, and that she should just either her staying there is her endorsing her beating, and not just her by proxy, but also possibly their children, and that B, you assume that the idea is she has a place to leave. Like, motherfucker, not everybody has fucking fat stacks with mega packs like Jeff Bezos or fucking Bill Gates, which I have my own beef with those fuckers. But more to the point, even if one were to leave, they would still get their ass fucked on their way out because they'd have to pay a tax, like a last tax, so to speak, with the United States government. That being like $2,500 to leave the country, to finally renounce your citizenship. And not only that, but you'd also have to go through the fucking trials and tribulations to get a citizenship in another country, which that can take years, even a decade, to get a citizenship or a passport to go to said country. And even when you do, you're still going to experience coercion by a state, just not the state that you came from. So the question then comes down to this: which state infringes less? And here's the funny thing that these conservators just so conveniently leave out. the United States, we're not the most free country in the world. There are other countries that are more free than us. And
it's not really a question of freedom. It's not. I think looking at it from the perspective of how much freedom and how much actual coercion is inflicted upon people by the state actually is not terribly important. I think it goes without saying that North Korea and China infringe on or actively aggress upon their population to a much greater extent than, say, Norway. I don't think that's terribly controversial. However, it's more of a question of how much leverage does the government have to be able to do these things in the first place, because for all you know, North Korea could just say, yeah, you know what, we're just not going to throw people in concentration camps anymore. We're just going to, I don't know, we're just going to read TV tropes and play video games all day now.
I mean, here's the thing, is that I've always asked, like, these conservators that say, like, I support weed and so on. Like, I support the legalization of weed, but I don't support the legalization of other drugs and what have you. You know where I point them, Filthy? Do you want to know where I point them to?
What?
North Korea. It is actually legal for one to have ganja for recreational purposes in North Korea. So in
North Korea, of all places.
Yes. And in a sense...
By the way, welcome to the stream, Grambo.
Hello, everybody. Also, thanks for the server link, Night Watchman. But sorry for the interruption. Continue.
So in a sense, to these fuckers, North Korea, in a sense, to these tards, is better than the U.S. when it comes to fucking weed. But they don't want to admit that we're just as bad as them, if not worse than them.
The government in the U.S. exercises the same kind of leverage over privately held resources as the North Korean government, and one could argue they occupy even more leverage just simply because they have a greater ability to monitor every aspect of our lives compared to the North Korean government, which is really only as good as its surveillance network, which, let's be honest, it really isn't going to be all that great.
These fucking people. I just find myself... I just want to get tomorrow over with and just put it behind me. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
and I've also noticed, well, there's also a noticeable fact that Kim Jong-un has been losing quite a bit of weight, and I hope it's cancer.
I mean, for me, oh my god. I would not be surprised if fucking Kim Jong-un's sister has something to do with that. Because people say, Kim Jong-un, you think Kim Jong-un is fucking evil. No. His sister. Like, basically, Kim Jong-un is like Darth Vader, and then his sister is like Emperor Palpatine, levels of evil.
I swear, if her sister takes the charge of North Korea, I've no doubt feminists are going to praise her as like the wondrous female leader. Just the irony of that shit.
The Darth Empress of all Karens.
She would basically be fucking dictator gender studies.
Dictator Karen.
No, gender studies. Just as how that fucking slut of a bitch, that purple-haired strong whammon in Star Wars.
Admiral Holdo.
The Last Jedi. No, Admiral is too... First off, calling her an admiral is fucking a disgrace to the title Admiral. And calling her by her name...
She's called. That's what she's called.
I don't give a fuck what Disney does, because Disney has fucked over the entirety of Star Wars after literally the only good product that I have seen in theaters or that I have paid money to go see from Disney was, and I shit you not, Rogue One. Everything else is fucking garbage. Fucking garbaggio.
No, but here's what's funny. No.
And there are so many plot holes and so many Marisu tropes that it just makes me wonder.
But the problem is that when you have the media trying so desperately to defend the Disney Star Wars under the guise of you are an evil bigot, or a basement dweller, just really goes to prove how out of touch these people are. Because the majority of the audience and those who are actual the Star Wars universe hated this film with a passion and with great conviction. It was that awful. It was. This film was never planned to begin.
Tell that to the fucking boomers.
Of course, you're going to have an army of boomers defending this crap because they have no better taste.
I'm not gonna say that next statement. That might reveal some incriminating information on me personally, so I'm not gonna say it here. But let's just say I know an individual that unironically has said to me, that they think Star Wars Episode 8 and 9 are the best. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 are the best Star Wars movies in the series.
And give me a loaded break.
That is ultimate cringe.
To be honest, I mean, I've seen those movies before, but I forgot what they really were. I mean, I don't really care when someone says if they're good or not. I mean, I'll probably agree with them more, like, if they said it's bad. When I saw them, I just thought they were whatever.
Yeah. But no, basically what it comes down to is that these...
about it that is much worse than I think it is.
Basically what it comes down to is that these fucking movies, especially in the 2010s, are basically just a work of the Mockingbird media. Because they want to dumb down entertainment to the lowest, and I mean to the lowest common fucking denominator, and have you think that villains are like this, you know? Notice how in Star Wars, it's, at least in the sequel trilogy, it's pretty binary, to say the least, as to who is evil and who isn't, you know? And they make it very fucking binary. Like, oh, we're fighting against the space Nazis, except the space Nazis are extra space Nazis. Like Ultra Nazis 2.0. And it just did not have the... Who else? Like, Grambo? Okay, what kind of fucking stupid statement is that, my guy?
Well, I didn't finish that statement. I was saying is that we need a bad guy to validate our fucking existence and rule.
I mean, God, I still remember watching that funny video of Sargon. Basically, show like the fucking credits going up, and it shows the matriarchy escaping from the patriarchy. But no, more to the point. Like a good example of this would be like the Mockingbird media not able to control a movie would surprisingly be Joker, because it actually depicts the establishment, the establishment, whether it be corporations or the local government, as the villain. As such, they were trying to bait people into do a shooting. Which, fun fact, Frozen 2 actually would cause more violence and harm to individuals than Joker ever could.
Oh wow,
that's true.
Wow.
There was a case of a woman. There was a case of a fucking psychotic woman with a knife stabbed a kid in the face as they were coming out of the movie theater to watch Frozen 2. And
fuck?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty fucking sad.
I mean, like, after watching Joker for the first, by the way, I actually just recently just watched Joker, 2018. After recently watching that, it made me not want to kill.
I mean, for me,
no, but
Frozen 2 is just about as cringe as Frozen, except with more Karen.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is that when it comes to fucking Frozen, when it comes to like other movies, like especially the James Bond films, the James Bond films, they want these villains to be like over the top and want you to think, oh, a villain looks like this. That this is how villains are like in real life. When in reality, you rarely see in movies, video games, hell, sometimes even in books, that villains are rarely ever state actors. Like, have you ever noticed that? It's always somehow ends up to be some sort of corporation. Whereas in the 2000s, like in the 90s, like the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, yeah, there was a bit more nuance, so to speak.
Well,
especially
there's
with
the Bourne trilogy.
The what now?
Well, there's the Bourne trilogy. Ever heard of? You haven't heard of
Jason Bourne? I'm
No.
familiar with Jason Bourne.
The villains in that show, that movie series is the government.
I mean, true, but it's based off a book series, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Wait a minute. There's one that I have not mentioned that deserves to be very well known and deserves a watch as well. Has anyone heard of Le Femme Nikita?
Does it look like anyone speaks fucking French?
I don't even watch movies
not the French movie by Luc Besson, but still it's one of my personal favorites. But I was talking about the TV series. There was a lot of, how would you say, predictive programming in that show that really, and this is from the 90s, mind you.
For me, my favorite, like, I don't watch TV shows very often. The last good TV show for me that I watched was The Twilight Zone, and I still remember watching The Obsolete Man. Obsolete Man still strikes a chord with me because it's just ugh. And as for like books, one of my personal favorite books is The Giver. Are you gentlemen familiar with The Giver?
Yeah, I read that book. It was like required reading back in my elementary school years.
It's actually one of the very few books that I read that was required me to read when I was in high school that I enjoyed. And basically, Filthy, the idea is that everyone has lost all sense of individuality. Color itself is stripped away from the individual. There is no color. Everything's black and white, and everyone. Fuck my ears. Everyone is predetermined a role in the world. And no one is allowed to touch each other except for family gatherings and so on. You're not allowed to lie, and you're not allowed to do certain things. But there's one person given the role as the giver, who has access to all of the information of human history throughout all of humankind. And as such, he is able, like that person, the giver, has access to all this knowledge of the world and of history, and has access to human emotions. And death, a concept of death in this universe, does not exist. As such, you will see parents give their twin children lethal injections and not even know what they're doing to their child.
Frightening.
Yeah.
A world without color, everything black and white. Isn't that the type of direction we're heading based upon the dystopia that we're basically seeing?
It's just people are getting desensitized, and this is exactly what the state wants. It's just for us to be numb to what harm we cause other people.
Excuse me, I gotta get going now.
All right, see you later, Filthy.
See ya.
Take care, Filth.
So, what do you guys think about the Star Wars special editions?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, but desensitize or sensitize? Because I feel like it's
Star Wars.
sensitive.
What about the Star Wars holiday special, Damari? Oh God,
gosh,
no!
I haven't seen it.
The Life Day? No, wait. Is it Life Day or the new Lego Star Wars special? Because at least the Lego Star Wars special made fun of and mocked some of the Disney trilogy, and you would not believe who directed it. No, yeah. George Lucas directed that, just letting you know. And it was so much enjoyable than the god-awful Disney trilogy, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Why I bring up this... what I think about the special edition is that...
I apologize, Domar, but I have to get going, gentlemen. Take care.
Okay,
I'll see you, Segura.
Take care, Segura. But I just wanted to say this, Night Watchman. So, is it desensitized or really sensitized? Because in truth, it's actually the government trying to sensitize us, trying to numb us. Not the opposite when it comes to sensitize. It is sensitized. They're trying to numb us. They're trying to atomize us from ever feeling a thing. Stripping of color, creativity, expression, art, meaningfulness, and entertainment itself when it comes for us trying to interpret or basically coming up with our own conclusions individually on how we see the world, and want to centralize, monopolize everything. And they have the arbiter of all things. Only they claim to it. And that is something I hope they do not get that chance.
Yeah, I'm just shocked at how so many people are just willing to throw themselves behind government narratives just to bolster their own ego. It's very pathetic.
It's more than just their own ego. It's more than just their own ego, Night Watchman. It's the narrative. Narrative is the greatest weapon when it comes to perceiving a certain demographic, a certain group of those individuals from that group to be viewed and perceived to be the enemy, exploitatively, as a means of justifying their power and rule, and extensive over their lives.
So, what I think about the Star Wars Special Edition is that I think the idea actually is a bit cool to actually is to like re-release some of your old material, and like try to change it a bit to see like how your newer self would really say. Um, but what is really bad about it though is if you like remove the originals and make them unavailable. That is the worst part.
He who controls the present controls the past.
Yeah, I think it's actually close to impossible to find the original VHS tapes of Star Wars. It's all special edition CGI crap.
And why I bring this up is actually because
that's why pirating exists.
Yeah. Yeah, so why I bring this up is because now I pretty much did a George Lucas, except good. Except I did it better. I gotta talk about the Dead Parks Legacy Collection. It's the first three Micro Zombies games, redefined on Bedrock Edition. And I've actually didn't get rid of the original three. They're still there. Though I would prefer if you get the newer version though. But still, at least they're there. I'm not getting rid of those.
Yeah, but anyways, Night Watchman.
Yeah, Grandpa?
Yeah, I just want to bring up when it comes to La Femme Nikita, but not the movie, but the show itself. I didn't actually get to finish on what I was saying.
All right. Well, since Filthy and Segura are left to do their own business, I think you should have a turn to talk. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, in the show La Femme Nikita, and this is from the 90s, again, like, this character was very much written so well, and it very much speaks the truth of the very lower agencies on how not just they treat their own operatives, but how the way the world is and how the way it works.
Oh, looks like
remember,
Base Unate is popping in to say hi to us in the stream chat.
Oh, right.
Hey, Based. How's it going?
Hello, Base Unate.
His name is
back
Based?
to streaming, baby.
Wait, his name is Based?
Base Unate.
Just Base Unate. That's his
name. Discord name.
Hang on.
Right, but anyways,
is it in general? Yeah.
He's in the general chat in the live stream.
Oh, also, Base Unit wants to be on my stream, otherwise I'm banned from the server. Oh God! All right, you're invited, dude. You win this. Hang on, I'll get him invited to my server real quick. Hang on.
Oh my, he's coming in. Anyways, mind if I continue? Night Watchman?
Yeah, you can continue. I invited Based to our server. What
All
did
right.
you think?
Anyway, so Nikita, along with her time at the agency, which was still basically under the control of the state, but the way how the system works is that they were many sections. It was 1 to 8, but section 1 is where the real power resides. But also, there's a thing known as the center. The center is basically the most heavily centralized control of the entire agency and how the way that it works. From basically from the shadows, while still being under the very control and loyalty to the state. But here's something what's truly scary, and this is from like I don't know which season, but I think it's the third. It's what one of the people from the agency that says this that really truly frightened me, and this is when during the reveal of the actual creator of the agency, which was none other than she was basically called the mother of the section, and that was basically, well, Adrian, which is her name. She said this: "Are the crimes we committed much worse than those of our enemies?" That should scare all of us, and really puts into very conflictions. And not only that, during that episode, they dropped a lot of red pills on predicting the events of the Iraq War, predicting the events of 9/11, and also it talked about a fucking virus that will soon ravage Europe to India and China. India and China, for what it is happening right now. Again, this show predicted the shit that we're living in right now.
Yeah, that's very interesting, gentlemen.
By the
So
way,
the
nice
stream
to-
says about Bill Cosby. Did we talk about him already?
yeah, we
or-
talked about him
Yeah,
a lot.
sadly,
yeah.
sadly that was talked about.
And I honestly
Right.
hope to God Bill Cosby gets Epsteined one way or another, because
What?
he's guilty as sin.
Yeah. No, I highly doubt that because number one, no. John McAfee got Epstein because he was basically one of the good people. And
No, okay, but John
his own
McAfee was
stuff-
not a good person. He deserved the bullet, but no.
why? In that case, because he evaded taxes, he
Wait,
created the software for big.
wait. So what happened? All right, first of all right. So what about McAfee? And also, who is he? Did he make the antivirus thing?
Yes, he did.
All right.
And mostly
so,
he got most of the stuff invested into cryptocurrency. And his claim of, I think one of the claims is that he has lots of terabytes of all of the shit the government that was doing. And
Right, so-
apparently he got suicided in the Spanish prison. And before you know it, a day later, basically the Miami condo basically collapsed. The very same condo where John McAfee stayed.
wait. So what happened to him?
He got suicided in a Spanish prison. Suicided be that he got Epstein.
Yeah, that is pretty sus. But yeah, I mean,
Among Us?
there's he. God damn it, it's pretty suspicious. I mean, but I don't know. John McAfee's just a complete douchebag. If you like, as a person, whatever. He probably wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just either some state or some random ass cartel was like, let's cap him. But wait, Night Watchman, you're the Crow, main village man. You're telling me you think Bill Cosby was guilty? Do you even read anything about the trial?
I didn't.
Hello?
I read a couple news articles on it, but I didn't read the actual legal transcript. To be completely honest,
They I don't know how you couldn't know. Yeah, then because he got completely railroaded, right? They broke the self-incrimination thingamajigger. He was forced to incriminate himself illegally. I mean they did a whole bunch of stuff. They brought in a bunch of random witnesses that weren't even pressing charges to validate the one bitch. And then they came up to him with a plea deal saying, we'll let you go if you just admit that you did it, and then we'll just give you a misdemeanor charge. And he said Bill Cosby wouldn't take it. So, I mean, he had every opportunity to get something rock solid out of him. And every time, it didn't work. So I don't know how anyone could think he's guilty, honestly. But, you're entitled to your opinion, I guess.
And Duskitty hops in.
Hey,
Duskitty!
Duskitty!
I really missed you.
I heard you guys get back onto the topic of the Bill Cosby thing, and I wanted to second what Based Uniate was saying. I did not look too much into the case, but what I saw earlier in the year were the videos that Razorfist did on Michael Jackson, and I do want to point out that it's not as though that's an uncommon thing to happen to celebrities, because the fall of a celebrity is more fun to watch than the rise of one. Nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Because I got plenty to talk about still.
I'm sure you do, and most of it is probably shit related.
No, it's not.
I don't believe you. Unionate, you want to expand on what you were saying, though? I'm interested.
Yeah, another thing is, the accusations coming out of nowhere. During the thing, the district attorney ran for election on the basis of I will prosecute Cosby, but he didn't win for district attorney, but he ended up being the judge in the courtroom. So think about that. A guy who ran on prosecuting you in the courtroom acting as judge. And his wife was working for a feminist organization that admitted to protesting to have Cosby convicted. I mean, talk about a fair-based, trial. Justice was nowhere in the courtroom. At no time was there anything but the intention to railroad Cosby.
Yeah, I did hear about that, actually. Doesn't exactly sound like a fair trial if the guy was literally talking about how he wanted to prosecute Cosby.
He is yet another casualty of the Me Too bullshit movement.
Didn't this happen to a one specific judge, or at least two judges? I forgot who were the names, but they got hounded by a bunch of mob Puritans, literally, because of the Me Too bullshit. When the Me Too movement harms more women and minorities than what they claim to be doing so.
This just comes to show that feminism just ruins everything it touches and ruins people's lives. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the justice system is permanently raped because it's like this is the ultimate smokescreen, the feminism thing. It's like we're allowing, a bunch of emotional, cry-bully women to ride roughshod in the courtroom, and it's now the ultimate thing against everything. The current gynocentric social order has helped the state come up with a new technique to just completely throw out any sort of actual evidentiary analysis in the courtroom at all.
Yeah, it's really just another of their many smoke screens that they use just to prosecute whoever they feel like prosecuting for funsies. Or for money,
not just
really.
For funsies,
usually it's
not
money.
Just for funsies. Not just for funsies, but for ideological purposes. Those who dare threaten the very things that they believe to be heavily gospel.
I doubt Bill Cosby was trying to give it to the state. Same with Epstein. Epstein was like,
Yeah.
we're talking about like oligarchic
Epstein
cunts.
was part of the state. He was a privileged beneficiary.
That's what it is. I mean, maybe they're just trying to like iconoclastically kill America's dad for the saying, you know what, fuck it. He was a bitch, drug dealing and raping bitches. And I mean, it's not like he can salvage his image and say, you know, I'm still America's dad. I mean, we know he was getting fucking fucked up on party drugs and laying 50 women, but you know, those women would then go on fucking summer vacation with him. So I mean, you know, there's no way you really salvage their chastity or his innocence. I mean, as a you know a pure and upstanding citizen rather than a criminal. He's obviously not a criminal, if in my opinion. But
so I want to pick on one of the things that Grambo said because he wanted to pretend that the state has an ideology. It doesn't. It's just motivated by what makes it the most money and gains it the most power. So in the case of the whole Bill Cosby and Epstein things, I'm pretty sure that, and this is just a guess because I don't know exactly what they wanted, but I'm pretty sure that Epstein was just a fall guy so that the state could pretend that they weren't involved in it, and also so that he could distract people, like Epstein getting Epsteined, could distract people from the red flag laws being passed so that the conservatards wouldn't notice Donald Trump passing gun legislation, and B, so that people wouldn't, yell at them about it.
That is something I've hooked up myself. To think I ever supported Trump just makes me shudder. Thank God
it makes you
personality calls.
cringe.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
It's just yet another thing that I can make fun of you for.
I once believed in Trump as well because I too have fallen for it. Because I thought I was basically going to be on the right side of history, and the fear of literally, that's what I believed, is that I wanted to be on the right side of history when it comes to this illusionary praxis of the left and right. Is siding with Trump means is that I'm saving America, saving American culture, the American culture I fell in love with, the quote-unquote culture that allows people like me to be myself, but sadly it has been ruined by corporatists, ideological Puritans, and moral busybodies, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. That's a strange speech. But yeah, no, Trump was a complete bitch. Everything he did was, we believe in freedom, and I mean, he was like a terrible speech giver. I mean, some of our worst presidents, to their merit, I mean, say what you want about Lincoln or whoever the fuck, at least the Gettysburg Address was a decent address, but I mean, Trump was a terrible speech giver. Everything was like a couple of sentences. He sounded like he was on fucking acid or something, and he was a reprehensible bastard. Everything about his foreign policy, everything about his fucking, especially with Israel. I mean, he took the entire dick for Israel, man.
I remember when he said,
"Isn't that every single president ever?"
I mean, saying stuff like, "Oh, he's a Jewish shill" is kind of a meme today. But I mean, like, if anyone on the planet is a Jewish shill, Donald Trump. I mean, his wife is a Jew. His daughter's a Jew.
You mean the Slovenian chick? The Slovenian woman is a Jew.
Well, he has like 50 wives, man. But yeah, his oldest daughter, with the guy he put in, had the Jewish guy that was his daughter's husband. Yeah, Kushner, who was deciding foreign policy for Israel. I mean, think about that.
Oof.
I mean, I don't particularly care if they're Jews. I just care that they're statist faggots.
Yeah, too.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about ideology. I mean,
I was pointing out that ideology is irrelevant.
Well, just Katie, most Jews are statist faggots, so let's just leave it there.
So fuck Zionism, just saying.
Yeah, so I don't know how you can say the state doesn't have ideology when, I mean, its
ideology is making money and gaining power.
Yes.
I guess it may
actually,
seem like it has an ideology, but really its motivation is the power.
well, I guess ultimately you can say, yeah, it's just for fuck you, I want power and money or whatever the hell. But I mean, it's still influenced by ideology. Like, I mean, for example,
Yeah.
Zionism. You know, the whole what is it? They moved an embassy to Jerusalem, and now it's like, whoa, the capital of Israel is Jerusalem, and everyone's like, yeah.
Don't you think that's gaining a bit too much attention for it to actually be their actual motivation?
What do you mean?
Well, they're giving it attention in the news media. If the government's news media, which is intended to convey false information, is covering that extensively, shouldn't it be considered a false flag?
A false flag? A political movement to legitimize the Israeli government is a false flag? I
To
mean,
get everybody to pay attention to something else. Maybe the better term for that would be a watch the other hand moment.
I guess, but I mean, it's not like they're still not accomplishing their purposes. So,
What's the purpose there?
I don't know.
What would legitimize mean in this scenario?
Dude, I don't even know how to answer your question. They're just so weird. Obviously planting
I understood, but
the
even I don't
embassy
have an answer.
in Jerusalem affirms that the Zionist nonsense about Jerusalem, center of the world, and a bunch of Jewish mysticism crap, Kohelam and all that shit.
So,
So,
Jewish mysticism crap is what it means.
well, yeah, that's certainly one of the
It's just
entailments.
of
Yeah.
the Jew.
Yes, it's all the Jews and nothing else. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's totally what I'm
guys.
saying. You got
Well, I'm
figured-
still of the basis that there is more than just Jews when it comes to status control.
guys,
fuck Jews aside, weren't we talking about Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk about
kinda
other things too.
We can talk about other things. I mean, I'm not really strict when it comes to staying on topic on my live streams.
Yeah.
I noticed.
I'm really
Like,
chill.
we're already done. No. Like, we're already done with the topic of Bill Cosby, in which either he is guilty or not. I'm still basically like, I just don't know. It's just that this system, the court of justice, is just fucked as it is.
Well, I think we could all agree that the state's sense of justice is completely bullshit.
Yeah, it's very cringe.
It's cruel.
Much like you.
Wow.
You're welcome.
And I know anyone tuning into this live stream was expecting me to go into an angry rant, but, I wasn't really that surprised. So,
do we get the Sonic drowning music if you go into a rant?
I can add that for next week.
I was referencing one of your responses to Razor Fist.
Oh, Lord.
My God, I remember that.
About John McCain.
So one of my questions about politics and stuff. Why should I listen to other?
Yeah, that video is still up for posterity.
Dude, you freaking defended John McCain to the uttermost, bro.
I will never live that down for myself.
Dude, this is why when a few months ago, I was still convinced you were like some type of Fed or something, like, bro.
Why would he be a Fed? I think that they would hire smarter people.
Well, I have relatives who are war veterans, so I guess it kind of rubs off on me a bit.
Proper term is cuck.
Yeah. Stop with the frickin' speechifying, Duskity.
Stop with the what?
The blah blah, state bad, something. Every person, whoever, was their standard bearer as a cuck.
That's usually my thing.
I mean, yeah.
Well, the state is bad. What have they ever done for me?
Steal your money.
Yeah, steal my money. That's about it. Like
and
filthy
use
Jews.
minorities and even basically tribes against each other to be perceived to be the enemy, along with many other things that I pretty much learned the truth, which why I despise them.
I think everyone watching the stream and talking the stream knows that the state bad.
Comes from the state. That's right. That's right, Grambo. That makes perfect sense.
I completely missed what Grambo said. Grambo, can you repeat that?
Yeah, when it comes to me explaining shit, I'm basically having trouble. As Night Watchman was saying, that they're good on stealing your money, pitting demographics and groups and individuals from those groups against each other to be perceived and viewed as the enemy, while also distracting them on the basis of race and ethnicity, and under that type of distraction, the power of the state rises. That's all I have to say.
Yep.
So, like, why should I talk to people that don't really agree with me politically? What I mean, like,
are you gonna finish any of these thoughts?
I remember, like, every time I would talk to, I don't know, like a statist or something, it would never really go well at all. Yeah, like, so why should I listen to them?
To refute their talking point bullshit.
Yeah.
I think
but
Larkin
also,
Rose actually made a video on that recently. I can link it if. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and link it.
I assume it's a video about using your own words, because I've already seen that.
I like.
Yeah, actually, that's the one I was referring to.
I haven't seen one of Larkin.
I'm subscribed to him.
Larkin Rose's recent videos, to be honest.
Dude, I like.
Yeah, and about that video,
Hold on, Dolmari. Go ahead, Unionate.
I like to forget Larkin Rose exists because his content is all the same, and it's never, ever, ever done anything new. It's like, hey guys, did I mention the state's bad? Yo, holy shit, guys, the state's bad. I mean, like, at least was still making content, tried to do like systematic analysis of the state and its institutions. But goddamn, I mean.
Yeah, there could be a bit more to his content, I agree.
Yeah.
I
do still like Larkin Rose, though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's not as bad as someone like Shane or like Dapperton, but
both of them can be pretty cringe. Yeah.
I don't think Dapperton's even an anarchist anymore.
No, he's not.
I think he stopped like months ago.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Unionate.
Whatever he is, whatever all they are, they all need to get freaking some edge. I mean, if I get bored watching you, you know that you have a problem. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm easily amused.
Yeah, I got bored of watching
Keith Knight. Keith Knight can be pretty cringe too. I like Keith Knight, but yeah, he's pretty cringe sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really know how often I don't think I really ever upload anything about politics usually that often, or if not even talk about it that often. Well, at least not to people that I don't agree with. Because I mean, I'm comfortable talking about it here at least. Well, at least in a way.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. I don't want my entire channel to revolve entirely around politics. I sometimes post music and ASMR video. Well, I plan to make ASMR videos.
Yeah.
But
I do like your music
just post
content.
Whatever.
Have you watched any Keith Knight? Night Watchman?
Keith Knight?
Yeah, don't tread on anyone.
I don't think I've.
Do you need a link to his channel?
I probably need a link to his channel so I can kind of bring it up.
There you go. I PM'd it to you.
Okay. Hang on.
But he started off pretty decently, but the best that can really be said about him is that he's pretty good at surface level shit. Recently, he's been giving a bunch of lip service to paleo-libertarianism and some politicians and shit, so that's pretty cringe.
Yeah, so my question about Lock and Rose's latest video, about using your own words. First of all, how does it end the state? I mean, yeah, it helps a bit, but yeah, once you know, once you know that state is bad, what else do you do? I mean, what do you do to try to end the state?
Yeah, and what made me really facepalm was Filthy Heretic's argument in that we're already living in anarchy. It's just that we have the government still. Okay, that's not a really good argument. We still have to deal with the fucking government.
Yeah, I can kind of see where he's coming from, but my conclusion to that is that you still kind of need to get rid of the state, otherwise you still have this massive criminal entity that's still harassing pretty much everybody.
And just leeching off our productive labor and basically not doing anything anything.
Yeah, if you're working at a white market job, then yeah, it's still doing that and still going to try to force people to pay it and shit. So you still have this massive mafia, and I feel like you'd still be better off without it, regardless of whether you call what you're living in anarchy or not.
But also, just trying to think about it a lot.
Oh, right, what you said about Lark and Rose. So
yeah,
I agree in the sense that kind of talking to people, it doesn't make a whole lot of progress, but I don't think that it does any harm.
I mean, it's the most that I can do.
Basically.
Yeah, we kind of do need to do more than just making YouTube videos. We kind of need to go out there and actually, do real activism when it comes to promoting these ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I mean, what I do is really just make art and stuff. But I mean,
or at the very least,
once everyone knows about this, what do you do? I mean, what do you have to do to end the state, other than just letting people know that say bad?
Well, apparently the go-to strategy of Eastern Heretic is to engage in agorism, which I kind of really don't appreciate that much because it just works too slowly for my taste. That you just have to slowly support the economy.
No,
Wait, what did I miss? I just got back.
Agorism is a venerable method, but yet, the amount of pseudo-determinism, the state will inevitably collapse because agorism is happening, bro. It's happening, bro. I'm telling you guys, it's so pseudo-deterministic. It reminds me of Marxists talking about the dialectic. So we have to avoid that sort of reverse fatalism where anything is a proof that we're going to win and the state's going to beat it. We have to remain level-headed,
Well, I agree that we have to remain level-headed, but I don't think that the argument there is that because agorism is happening, it's more that because the state will inevitably collapse regardless, and agorism just speeds it along. So, yeah, you should be doing agorism.
It's basically a reaction and a response to the centralization of the white market. So it's happening either way.
Yeah, and it should be happening either way. But
and also,
what I was saying is that regardless of what anybody's doing, they should be taking part in agorism just to do whatever they can.
And as a means to survive, because most people have been propagandized into belief that. And there was this funny fucking story that was released by the Financial Times that apparently.
Oh, hold up! Before you go into that, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you looked into any of Keith Knight's content? And if so, what's your opinion on that?
Wait, Keith Knight, as in that?
Don't tread on anybody.
Oh, right, that one. I was basically unsubscribed from that channel, to be honest. So I've not heard anything from that channel. Why so?
I just wanted your opinion.
Opinion on Keith Knight?
Yes.
I don't have much. All I can say is that while he's on the right track, but yet sadly he's basically more inclining to leaning on some of Hoppianistic ideas, sadly.
Yep.
Oh no, the worst thing ever, Hoppianism. Ah.
Well,
You know
it'd
what?
be
You know,
hard to call it
It's
worse
the
than ever
ideas.
because it
No.
is stated.
Hold on. Yes, it is. It's the ideas behind Hoppianism that I have such distaste. Whether we need some centralized system of monopoly, be they a smaller form of it, to preserve on the basis of these three things. And forgive me if you may not like this, but from a more top-down way of doing things, when it comes to culture, language, tradition, faith, etc. And again, you're going to have the opposite result of that.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, Grambo, but by definition, tradition will always be top down because the definition of tradition is something that is passed down, not something that's passed around. But,
not just passed down, but also to be taught from the top down. That is a load of bull and Platonistic. Cultures has always been from the bottom up, a bottom-up phenomenon, even language as well. To say that, it's a form of elitism that this language existed because some top official just wrote it and just passed it along the way, that is a load of crap.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that things are decided by state fiat, but I mean, I'm pretty sure my father, decided more my mannerisms and my family traditions that we do on Christmas than did some rando, I've never met. Or
but
just
that's from the bottom. That's from the bottom, Uniate. That's not some government official.
Damn.
No.
Well, if anybody knows, it would be Grambo.
Oh my God, no. When I meant hold on. What I meant by the bottom up is by basically those of the peasant people, those who aren't part of the world of the political class, the elites, those who are part of the uber rich, whatever the fuck that means, those types. Like, for example, the aristocracy, the clergymen, etc., etc. I can go on a list of things when it comes to what it means of those at the top. By the bottom, it's those who are part of that type of world, those who are part of the world we're all a part of, which is right now.
Okay, thanks for the speech.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about Hoppianism? What do you guys think about Hop? I think that
Hoppianism is basically modern feudalism.
No,
I view Hoppianism. Hold on. I view Hoppianism as a closeted form of. It's like statism, but hidden under the veil of trying to be libertarian. But in reality, it's just bringing back statism because apparently freedom and liberty isn't enough. Because there are two people. People are being too free, too much. We need some kind of a social order that maintains a form of these things, but it's not inherently like that. So basically, we do not like the idea of people being too free. We do not like the idea of people being too free. So therefore, let us bring back some remnants of some kind of authoritarian system to maintaining the social order of our twisted desires, basically.
But what about the roads?
Did he actually say that?
The damn roads.
Okay, dude.
Wow.
The anti-Hoppianism
levels is just reaching levels that shouldn't even be possible. Like,
I know, I'm sorry, but like I said, this is why I like being in VC, let alone being in the servers, to let my outrageousness go upon. But yeah,
you mean Gish galloping?
Yeah, so what I think about
no,
Hop
not
is
Gish
that...
galloping, but basically I let the outrageousness of myself
I know I'm messing with you. It's okay.
Yeah,
what were you gonna say, Unionate?
Just letting it all hang out.
Dude, like honestly, I mean, Hop is cringe and shit. But I mean, it's like people will just like shit on everything like any Hoppian has ever said ever. Like, I mean, Democracy the God It Failed, I mean, couldn't be more sound analysis. And then people are just trying to shit on it because something social order, like what the fuck ever, okay? And then I mean whatever you have to say about Hobbesianism, the most ridiculous position about it and most contradictory is that one of Esso, is that well it's Marxist, but we don't actually have to worry about Marxists. We just need to worry about Hoppians because they claim to be libertarian. But plenty of quote unquote left libertarians are actually Marxists. But we're just going to let all that slide because this is the new drama that we're going to be focusing on. I mean,
again, what do you mean by left libertarian? This is my hate when it comes to most of these later Rothbardians, those who are generally who like more of the later works of Rothbard.
Who promoted CNT? I mean,
CNT.
Remember the Scottish pimple face guy?
Which one?
No, I'm drawing a blank. Could you elaborate?
Socialist rants.
Can I say what I think about Hobbes?
I don't think I ever paid attention to anybody he promoted.
Wait, who exactly? I'm confused here.
Libertarian socialist rants. Anybody?
Well, if he was calling himself a libertarian socialist, I probably chose not to watch their content.
Well, that's good on you. Basically, just a communist with extra steps.
Oh, well, in
Communism
which case, I
and
wouldn't
the
support them anyway.
Soviet Union.
Can I say what I think about Hobbes, please?
No.
Wow.
So as far as Hoppe goes, I feel like we should be treating them the same way we treat Marxists, regardless of what either one claims to be.
Yeah, right.
We won't treat Marxists like Marxists.
I mean, I do.
Anyone that believes in a system that requires force, violence, whatever the fuck ever to phrase some kind of social order, yeah, you're either a Marxist or just a full-blown statist, and that is it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I feel like Esso and Filthy, while I do watch their content and enjoy it, their positions are relevant to that to me. Like,
Also,
I
found
they're also anti-Hoppe, so, and I agree with them on that.
Hey, Dust Kitty, I found that tweet, and
wait,
hey, Night Watchman, where can I post it so y'all can see it? You're gonna laugh.
Okay, I'll post it up on the stream. Hang on, link it.
Okay, in the general chat,
I'm not
or the videos watching. Wait,
hey,
in the videos
Lord
watching
Phil.
together. Phil.
Filthy.
Oh my god.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Good to see you.
Welcome.
Oh, hi.
Anyways, where do I post this tweet?
Just post it in the voice chat section.
Videos watching
You were just
together.
talking about your position on Hoppe.
Oh, the general chat.
I mean, I thought my position on Hop was pretty clear.
And yes, and I agree with it. But Unionate had questions.
Sure, what's up?
Question? I didn't have questions at all.
Yeah, you were saying that you felt like he wasn't treating Hoppe the same. Or no, wait, what was it? He was okay with some Marxists, but not Hoppe. Something to that effect.
Yeah, from what I remember from the back alley, I mean, we took every opportunity to shit on Hoppians every 5 seconds. Hoppians are Marxists, but we never shit on actual Marxists.
I mean, we do shit on actual Marxists. That's why we went after Hop. The thing about Hop, though, is that he's the one who pretends very much to be a libertarian who tries to pretend to align with us and to ally with us. You have a whole bunch of low information, thin libertarians who say, like, why can't we have libertarian unity? And when the answer is pretty self-explanatory, when you have a lot of charlatans like Hop who are actively trying to undermine libertarianism while claiming that they are libertarian. So, yeah, we do take every opportunity to crap on Marxists all the time. However, at the time, Hop was the most relevant.
Also, Filthy, can you explain, Unate, on what I meant when it comes to the bottom up?
How the hell would you... Oh. How would
We
he?
know that Hop is a grifter.
A what?
A grifter. Basically a
The heck is
scam artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what I think about Hop, I mean, I don't really know a ton about him at all. I mostly know him for the memes, I guess.
Yeah, something
I
about
mean-
He was a person who was brought up by or who was educated by a lot of the people who were originally part of the Frankfurt School, as well as some of their successors, and was actively brought up under the person who developed discourse ethics. For those of you who aren't aware, discourse ethics was an attempt to create an ethical, universal, provable claim that showed that you can't argue against socialism, or you can't argue against socialism without creating a logical contradiction. And Hop used that to develop his own argumentation ethics. I mean, discourse ethics and argumentation ethics, in addition to their similar names, are basically one and one the same thing. But of course, I don't think we should take argumentation ethics very seriously, because there's many occasions where Hop doesn't take argumentation ethics seriously either. I mean, just read page 173 of Democracy, the God That Failed if you want a perfect example of this, where whether or not you're a person is entirely dependent on whether or not you're able to understand division of labor.
Yeah, so like about Hop, and I don't really care that much about hopping isn't that much, but I'm mostly like just about Hop itself.
Can you excuse me? I'll be right back. Just a minute.
Oh, okay.
all right.
I mean, with Dolmari talking, I feel like it's the best time to excuse yourself anyway.
Yeah.
Well, what I heard about Hop, or at least his ideas of what type of libertarianism he's been introducing, something about.
What were you saying, Union? Hold on, Grambo.
Yeah, never mind.
Did he already ran about Hop for like a million years?
Who cares? I mean, his ideas are still shit.
Yeah, the very structuralism of what he desires in the social order is not my cup of tea, simply.
Like, you being tired of the argument doesn't mean that the argument's no longer relevant.
Exactly.
Like, you can be tired of it, and I don't hold that against you. Hearing the same thing's probably boring eventually, but the argument still remains relevant as long as the ideas are still proposed.
You have my permission then to go on then, slave.
You're welcome.
We're all slaves, you Nate.
Damn right.
Well, slaves to the government.
Mm-hmm.
I am waiting for the day where I can break these chains.
Well, in order to break the chains, you'll have to eventually stop getting your dick stuck in the vending machine.
You know, who was a bigger slave? A student in high school, or I don't know, not that.
You have a really hard time finishing your thoughts.
I do.
You know what? Let me help
I have
you.
a hard
Which
time
one is more of a
speaking,
slave?
you know.
A slave in high school, or a slave at a blue-collar working man?
I mean, they're both slaves.
And I'm just looking at the
what I
suite
meant
you're
is that,
sharing.
like,
And I'm just looking at the
Oh,
suite.
what's the suite? Can you share it in general?
Yeah, take a look. And this is from the Federal Reserve, just saying, let's all please stop calling dollars fiat money. Currencies are not means that have value because the governments say they do.
Please don't buy crypto. You're going to drive us out of business.
Oh, please!
That actually
please,
reminds me of an
peasants.
interaction I had earlier. So, for anyone who's not aware, I work as a salesman, but the place that I work at isn't allowed to accept cash. So, this guy, I explained to him that we're not allowed to accept cash, and he's like, "But it's money backed by." Never mind, and then he just drives off. Like, imagine being that offended that we aren't accepting your fiat.
No,
Yeah.
but this is
But the best I
Fed.
had recently, the best I had, like in general, the best response. So the guy tries to offer cash. Obviously, we're not accepting cash, and then he says, "You don't take cash money," and I'm like, "No, sir." And then he says, "You don't accept American currency," and I said, "No." So he flips it in reverse, drives like really fast. This is a parking lot. And then as he's
Jesus.
driving away, he yells, "Olive Garden accepts cash!"
Damn.
I mean,
Dude.
he's not wrong.
You need to fucking put this shit in a fucking like a compilation. That sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, of course
Like,
Olive
I wish
Garden
I was
accepts
recording
cash
it.
because Olive Garden is just shit excuse for Italian food.
Yeah, he should have
Honestly,
gone
I
to Dairy
mean-
Queen.
Hey. There are some things good that came out of Arlington besides the chicken and gnocchi soup that I still like to order even till then.
I mean,
Okay.
I kind of would be pissed too. I mean, honestly, green is what people got in their pockets most of the time if they're not a bitch with a fucking credit or debit card like a bunch of bitches. So, I mean, that's all I have. Cryptocurrency's a bitch, but I mean, yeah, that is pretty sus. I mean, like saying like, bro, Olive Garden takes cash. Is Olive Garden like the standard bearer of currency transactions, nigga? Like what?
So the reason they
but
stopped
here's something
accepting
we can-
cash is because the salesmen that they had at the gate were pocketing it and then just opening the gate for them to go through and get a wash. They would like put it in a
Oof.
rewash or something.
Oh, that's
Oof.
funny.
You know, about cryptocurrency, is it bad for the environment?
No.
No,
Your
it is
mom's
not.
bad for the
That's a
environment.
fucking lie. That
I
shit
don't-
is a
okay,
lie.
good.
by
You know what's bad for
idiot.
the environment? Printing fiat
Guys.
currency.
Guys,
Yeah. It's so
Oh,
true. It is.
and you know what's also basically bad for the environment?
Oh.
A state-controlled petroleum oil that just broke off in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I didn't
yet-
really mean that
Yet
question
they
as like a
dare.
statement. Like,
These people
yeah, like,
fucking
I
dare
actually
place
did know.
cryptocurrency at the very top of what causes worse to the environment when literally there are many other examples besides than printing useless fiat dollars.
Also, Blue
as
Shark
well as
says
the
hi in the
military
chat.
industrial.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, Blue Shark.
like dumb shit. And even if it did harm the environment, I wouldn't give a fuck because by God, I'm an American. But another thing that's just really dumb is like these people like it's obviously a smokescreen. Like these are the things they want to hit you with, right? So we were talking about Bill Cosby. It's like the Me Too stuff. It's like, oh my God, I'm a woman. I was raped. Oh my God. Another thing is the environment. So this is basically we're creating all these smoke screens, all these shields. Like every school shooting, it's the children. Every rape, every guy we need to put away, it's like rape. Every time we got to shame people, it's like oh my God, the environment. Oh my God. So yeah, the environment, gay people. I mean, just there's like all these freaking smoke screens that are obviously they're all basically state props.
I mean, like,
or,
even
or useless scapegoats, sadly, because let's be honest, they're all tools and useless idiots. Sad.
Well,
even if it was, I mean, like,
sacrifice.
is it also the reason why there's like a shortage on
Sacrifices, yeah.
RTX and next gen consoles because they take up so much power? I mean, like electrical power. But I mean, like, even if they did do that, I mean, I guess it is for a good cause, at least in a way, I guess. Because like I would rather see the state go down than to have a big amount of Xbox Series X's in stock.
Fuck them. Fuck
Yeah.
the environment. I'm a fucking shit.
Also,
boy,
to the
baby.
Federal Reserve, I'd rather trade in memes rather than paper that I wouldn't even wipe my
At
ass
least
with.
memes have value because we give it value. You shitty parasitic Ponzi scheme of a money system you call the dollar. Ugh.
Man.
To hear the Fed, no, but to hear the Fed, of all people, said this is just another cry for help.
Doesn't it just inflame your patriotism to like unhuman levels when you realize the green notes in your fucking in your wallet are funded and given their value by the bloodletting of every Middle Eastern country that tries to form a new central banking system? It's beautiful. It truly inspired.
And not just that, you know, the whole when it comes to America's control of the oil reserves in the Gulf, I think we should all thank the Tampico affair of 1914 that screwed over the Mexican people as well. Thank you, U.S. government, for that. And it was during the days of the events of the First World War, where Germany actually sent a letter to Mexico as to be their ally to invade the Americas.
I'm pretty
or at
sure
least
that was
invade the U.S.
I think that was actually fake, honestly, because I mean, Germany would have to be retarded to honestly think that, you know, Mexico would be in a state to fight the United States. And also, you have to think, right? The British Empire had a stake in creating a fake to get the United States into the First World War because they were, you know, about to get their asses kicked.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Welcome back.
All right, welcome back.
We're just reacting to that tweet by what the Fed says about fiat dollars and memes.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit about Hop actually. So, what I do think think about it, is that like his own ideology, doesn't use any other label. I mean, like Hobbyism. I mean, it's based off of what his thoughts are, and
What?
what do I repeat what I said?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
kind of cut out, Tomari.
It sounded like you were in the middle of trying to complete the thought, but then you just dropped.
Yeah, you just went for a blue screen of death.
I mean, it's usually not relevant anyway.
Dust Kitty's mean to me for some reason. But yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you guys go on.
Something.
I'm trying to think about something.
Fed says, please stop memeing or please stop calling dollars fiat currency because you're being mean to us. They want to say that I think I only know this because I saw this tweet before. That it's something about like that they want to say that the dollar has value. Although it has value not just because the government says it has value, which since value is entirely subjective. Technically, that's true, but it's also like the only reason that anyone accepts the dollar at all is because of the extent of government leverage over the financial system, the cash nexus. And the fact is that the government exercises so much leverage over the white market that it's basically illegal not to sell your goods in dollars.
Oh, I got something to say. So, so recently I made this video called "The Sus Rising 2 Sus Among Us," which is a meme, which is a meme video. It's what do you call it? I'm a YTP.
YouTube.
I'm not yeah. Dust Kitty. It's not what you think it is. Anyway, so
wow, this is not at all relevant to the conversation.
Actually, I'll get to it. It is because the main character of it is Hop. No, actually, it's Punished Venom Hop. Hang on. I'll show you what the thumbnail of it is.
Just.
It's right there.
What the hell? What the hell even is happening right now?
Good question.
That's the thumbnail of the Sus Rising 2 Sus Among Us.
You know what?
Is that
Have a good night, guys.
Well, good night. But is that really Hans Hermann Hoppe on that damn thing?
Yes. Well, no, it's Punch Venom Hop.
Why?
Tried pairing Metal Gear Solid 5 into this. But yeah, so what it's about. Well, I mean, yes, it does have. Yes, the entire series of the Stars Rising does have lore. I mean, like, what I actually think about Hop, I honestly really not much. I don't know if he is a bad guy or not. But
the guy's clearly a bad guy.
Yeah.
We know with absolute certainty that he's not just misled or dumb. He actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Which leaves that the only other possible explanation is that he's malicious.
Oh.
Yeah. So why I bring this up is because in the video or like in the entire series story, whatever, he's not part of the villain side. Although he doesn't really do a whole lot in the story, overall, I guess. Maybe.
What exactly is the relevance of this?
It's really about what I thought about Hop at the time.
Delmari,
it wasn't really that long ago.
If this isn't related to the topics at hand, then I'm going to have to.
Gonna have to what?
Silence your filthy peasant tongue,
Be right
boy.
back again.
And he went away. Great.
You know, I don't want to be the mean guy here, but I probably would have to mute you.
I mean, it is about Hop, but I mean, like trying to explain it without spoiling, or even telling people that don't know what it is at all is really difficult. So I mean, I'd much rather just talk to just you alone, not really to like 3 other people.
Yeah,
so everyone else
sense.
continue on with your conversations.
So what was the topic originally, Watchman?
It was about Bill Cosby, but I think we kind of said all we needed to say.
Yeah,
so
we did
kind
kind
of
of finish that as much.
I think we already knew of Cosby.
He didn't do nothing wrong. Well, I mean, he did party in the 70s, but everyone did that. So, I mean, you know.
It's literally what the 70s was. It's just an endless party and yet a lot of...
orgies. Yes, you would know all about that, wouldn't you, Grambo?
Well, no.
I'm just teasing.
No, but disco was basically at its peak somewhere in the 70s. Somewhere in the late 70s.
You have a great veneration for that noble art.
Night Watchman. So how long do you plan the stream to be?
I plan to end it at 11 o'clock, so we got 10 more minutes.
Okay. Because when it comes to like the Stars Rising 2, I right now I don't really have much else to say about it other than I guess check it out. But yeah, everyone else you continue. I'll wait like 12 minutes.
I just wanted to say, have you ever thought about redoing the topic of that one live stream?
Oh, about the fall of rave culture? Yeah, I really...
Yeah,
Night Watchman?
Yeah, the rise and fall of the subculture of rave.
Night Watchman?
Dude,
I'd love to do that again sometime.
Could do a little bit better at this whole thing if we had a lot more topics picked out and it was way more focused in those topics. Because I mean, we were talking about Bill Cosby, we talked about World War I, we talked about fucking a bunch of stuff, and I mean that's fun, but I feel like keeping it focused would be better for the
the overall quality, and you know, giving people more of an incentive to come back, because we kind of veered off topic a lot of times, and just it was supposed to be Bill Cosby, but kind of said all we needed to say, and I should probably plan this stuff out better in the future with more topics. stuff to fall back on.
Oh, and I
So
watch
what are the topics you wish to talk about in the, or at least the topic of the streams you wish to do?
I mean, I suppose they would follow current events, loosely, like most, pseudo podcasts, I guess.
Or how about you title it this certain topic and other stuff? That would be pretty good.
Oh,
right?
and adding and other stuff in parentheses, that could work.
Well, no. It could be like Bill Cosby, insert current event, and more on the Night Watchman. Da 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 da, and we could have like a whole theme and everything.
Yeah. But the theme has to be good, and it has to make sense. After all, since Night Watchman has the theme of the more synthwave levels, the '80s retro synthwave, I think that would be the perfect.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Night Watchman has a very foreboding sort of like thing. I think like noir music would be good.
Yeah, more noir or gothic type music would kind of fit better.
Like or something like that. I don't know.
Well, that would be too cheesy, but I think I'll find something.
Or maybe like slow jazz. I don't know. Where it's like on
Slow-
the piano.
Freeform jazz. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If you want jazz, then I'll just stick with like bossa nova. That Brazilian jazz music.
God.
Okay, I'm back.
What? It's still good.
Yeah, bossa nova, Brazilian jazz for Brazilian twerking with Brazilian butts.
What the hell did I just come back to?
Oh man, Phil, you just very missed out. We're basically discussing on what is the next topics we wish to speak about.
And the future of this channel, so to speak. Yeah. I'm kind of following the advice of Base Unit in that I kind of need to pick up more than just one topic.
Single-handedly
for each episode.
reframe your branding and create this your channel into the masterpiece it ought to be. You crazy bastard, you.
Well, we are crazy in our own special ways.
Filthy.
Yeah.
So like about what I said about the Suspension 2. All I could really say right now is I guess just go check it out whenever you want to.
Do I care?
Well, no, but in case if you do. But also
I highly doubt that he does, don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't care for the shit I like. But I wanted to say, Filthy, any other ideas would you like to give to Night Watchman when it comes to his future of the content of his channel?
I'm very open for suggestions.
Offer practical advice on how to achieve anarchy in people's own individual life. Offering advice for how to networking gray markets, which is mostly just like how to talk to people in farmers markets, how to grow your own food, secure your own supplies, possibly even get a gray market job.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is that if you do, please don't hate me.
Why would we hate you? Don't worry.
Whoa. Are you forcing us to not hate you, bro? That breaks the non-aggression principle. No, I definitely hate you.
I'm not forcing you to not hate me.
Says the Doomer Wojak.
I mean, you created a movie called Sus 2 Sus Among Us.
Yeah, it's called
what the hell do you think it's going? That's I assure you that's going to age like fine milk.
I mean, like it's a meme video, so I mean,
yeah, it's gonna become cottage cheese sooner than later, but in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, like surprisingly, the first Sus Rising will probably age better because, I mean, like it already has because one, it was made in 2019 before the Sus Rise, before the Among Us memes, and that's probably about it. Well, and that I'm still proud of it to this day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. I should close out this stream. I should really go to bed and have. But any closing thoughts?
Yeah. The fact that you didn't tell me that you had a cool ass server shows me that you almost merit to be banned. Crow, explain yourself.
Calm, please.
Well,
No,
I
no, no.
didn't think my server was anything special, base Uni, but
Explain yourself. Explain yourself by midnight, or you're banned.
Just ban him immediately. At least. No.
oh, he's just joking.
No, yeah. That not only
If you
was that
ban
a
him,
joke,
I'll leave. I'll leave the server.
Okay, dude, I quoted something that Esso said as a joke. Did you not?
Oh.
Night Watchman.
Yep.
That is literally word quote.
So Night Watchman. I would actually like to talk to you a little bit after this.